So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. Now, needless to say that this lecture series is very important because through this, you'll get the much needed revision of current affairs, plus you'll get the much needed MCQ practice for these current affairs, which would come in really handy. Okay, really handy by the time you're ready for your next year's prelims examination. MCQ practice is very important for clearing prelims. No matter how much you have studied, no matter how much you have read, how much knowledge you have, if you do not have practiced, if you have not practiced enough MCQs, well, it will take you nowhere. Okay. So 4 to 5 MCQs on a daily basis would amount to more than 1200 MCQs in a year, or by the time you're ready for your next year's prelims examination. So 1200 MCQs from current affairs alone, just current affairs, is a lot. So if you really want to feel confident about current affairs while giving your exam, make this lecture series a part of your daily routine and make it a daily habit of yours. All right? Okay. Enough of the introduction. Now let's straight away jump into the lecture, starting with question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding antimicrobial resistance. GLASS initiative by WHO is an AMR, antimicrobial resistance surveillance initiative joined by 137 countries. Theme for World Antimicrobial Awareness Week 2024 was Educate, Advocate and Act Now. UN resolution on AMR has set a target of reducing AMR related deaths by 10% by 2030. How many of the above statements are correct? Now look, AMR is a situation when antibiotics do not work on bacteria. Okay, because bacteria strains have become resistant to antibiotics. Okay, now to check this problem or to basically have enough data related to this problem, WHO launched GLASS initiative. And this GLASS initiative was joined by 137 countries. So this part is correct. Now to spread more awareness among people regarding antimicrobial resistance, every year since 2015, every year between 18th to 24th November, World Antimicrobial Awareness Week is celebrated. Okay, so 2024's World Antimicrobial Awareness Week's theme was Educate, Advocate and Act Now. This is also correct. Now in 2016, United Nations adopted a resolution on AMR under which they resolved to reduce AMR related deaths by 10% by 2030. So this is also correct. All three statements are correct basically. Okay. Question number 2. Which of the following statements are correct regarding term peak oil? The term was coined by Marion King Hubbard in 1956, who predicted that global oil production would peak in the year 2024. His prediction was based on the statistical analysis of global oil reserves at that time. Peak oil might come soon due to stiff competition from renewable energy. Okay, so what is peak oil? So basically, since 1940s, oil production has increased globally every year. But Marion King Hubbard in 1956 predicted that this annual production of crude oil would reach a peak at one point of time and then it will decline. He predicted that time to be not 2024 but the year 2000. Okay. And what did he base his prediction on? Well, he said that there are not enough oil reserves in the world that can sustain crude oil for that long. So he predicted that based on the available data on global oil reserves, easy global oil reserves, I am predicting that by 2000, this production of crude oil would reach its peak. Okay, so this term is false because it was written 2024 over here. Had 2000 been written over here, this statement would have been right. Now, his prediction was based on the statistical analysis of global oil reserves at the time. Absolutely correct. But people are saying his prediction might not have come true in 2000 because new technologies came up. Okay, so his prediction wasn't true. Global oil production did not reach its peak in 2000. In fact, it increased after that also. The reason for that was that technology came up which allowed to extract oil from very difficult reserves also, to extract oil from shale rock also. Okay, earlier Hubbard thought that extracting oil from shale rock was impossible. But because of this new technology, extracting oil from shale rock became possible, and global oil production did not reach its peak in 2000. It in fact increased. Okay, this new technology is called fracking or hydraulic fracturing. All right. Now, the thing is that experts are saying that yes, Hubbard's prediction of peak oil was not true. Okay, but it will come soon in a few years because crude oil and natural gas are facing stiff competition from renewable energy. People are shifting towards renewable energy, and in near future there won't be enough demand for crude oil. Therefore, supply of crude oil will definitely reach its peak because of stiff competition from renewable energy. Okay, so this is correct. Question 3. Consider the following statements regarding Guru Ghasidas Tiger Reserve. It is a recently declared tiger reserve in Madhya Pradesh and would be the third largest tiger reserve in India. Tiger reserves in India are notified by central government after the advice of National Tiger Conservation Authority. This tiger reserve falls between other two tiger reserves of Bandhavgarh and Palamau. Which of the above statements are correct? Now, recently, Chhattisgarh government, sorry, this is the correct spelling of Chhattisgarh. Chhattisgarh government declared Guru Ghasidas Tiger Reserve. Okay, it is close to Guru Ghasidas National Park, and it is actually called Guru Ghasidas Tamor Pingla Tiger Reserve. Okay, it will be the third largest tiger reserve of India because its area is quite large, but it is not in Madhya Pradesh, it is in Chhattisgarh. So that is why this statement is false. Okay, now tiger reserves, how are tiger reserves declared in India? Now, tiger reserves in India are notified not by central government but by state government on the advice of National Tiger Conservation Authority. Okay, so this part is also false. Now, this tiger reserve, Guru Ghasidas Tamor Pingla, falls between two other tiger reserves. One is Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve of Madhya Pradesh and Palamau Tiger Reserve of Jharkhand. Okay, so only third statement is correct. C. Question 4. Which of the following statements are correct regarding Paris Agreement? Article 28 of the agreement mentions the procedure to get out of this agreement. A party may withdraw by giving written notification to the depository, submission of which will lead to cancellation of membership immediately. Okay. In the past, USA had invoked Article 28. So, if any country wants to get out of Paris Agreement, well, Article 28 of this agreement mentions the procedure. Okay. So, this part is correct. Now, as per Article 28, it says that 3 years after agreement enters into force or is enforced. Now, Paris Agreement got enforced in 2016. So, 3 years after its enforcement, that is 2019, any country can withdraw from Paris Agreement, not before 3 years. Okay. Now, how can a country withdraw from Paris Agreement? Well, they have to give a written notification to the depository of this agreement, submission of which, after submission and acceptance of this notification, that country will remain a member of Paris Agreement for 1 more year, and their membership would get cancelled after 1 year, not immediately, after 1 year of submission of notification. So this part is false. Now, USA under Trump, the previous Trump term, had invoked Article 28 and withdrew from Paris Agreement. But once Joe Biden entered into the office, White House, then USA again joined Paris Agreement. Okay, so USA has invoked Article 28 in the past. Okay, so 1 and 3. And last, which of the following statements are correct regarding fracking or hydraulic fracturing? Hydraulic fracturing began as an experiment in 1947 and the first commercially successful application followed 1949. This is true. It is used in extraction of fossil fuels trapped in shale rock. This is also true. Fracking is used to extract oil and natural gas from shale rock. And extracting oil from shale rock is very difficult because these fossil fuels are buried deep into the shale rock. Because USA had the largest reserves of petroleum, but most of those reserves were in shale rock. USA was unable to extract that much oil back in 1940s 50s. But after discovery of fracking, USA became the largest producer of crude oil, because now using fracking it can extract oil from shale rock also. So its usage has made USA the largest producer of crude oil in the world. Absolutely correct. All right. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I hope it has added value to your preparation. Okay. Do not forget to download the notes for this lecture, because these notes would contain the written explanation of all the questions discussed in the lecture. Okay. So make sure you download these notes. These notes shall be available on our Telegram channel, and the link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below this video. Click on that link. It'll take you to our Telegram channel, and from there you can download the notes for not just this lecture, lectures featuring on our YouTube channel. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.